What up, YouTubers? Sunny Sniper here. So, welcome back to the channel. It's another toasty day. Southern Arizona. It's like October. It's like, is it ever going to cool down? Ever? Maybe not. So, today, welcome back. I appreciate you. I've gotten some new subscribers, and I appreciate you. Thank you for coming back, and appreciate the support. Today, I want to talk about carnivore. My ticket to freedom. Off the bathroom floor. Going full bore carnivore. So, most people that wind up going carnivore have a really tough time getting there. My journey was not ungraceful. I mean, it was obnoxious and painful. And I didn't have a moral issue with eating animals and faces. I didn't have that. I did, in 2014 when I was diagnosed with MS, I tripped into the Walsh protocol, as most MS patients do, which is all cruciferous vegetables. And then, having been diagnosed with cancer and going with the Gerson protocol, I just naturally segued into vegetarian with fish because of the omega-3s and all that, with sardines, salmon, and huge amounts of salads. So until I landed in the emergency room and could not get off the floor in March, having caught the flu, I caught the seasonal flu, not COVID. It was right before all full hell broke loose with COVID. I just could not. I couldn't, and I wound up in emergency, and they're like, "Your labs are stellar. There's nothing wrong with you." Don't we just love it when we hear that? But not until I ran the 5-strand hair analysis did I really start, because I got 5 pages, guys, of do not eat lists. And it was everything I was consuming, and it was everything that got me out of a wheelchair. I was like, talk about a mental mind bender. I'm like, I spun. I'm not kidding. For 3 days, and I relapsed on Taco Bell and Dr. Pepper. I could not wrap my mind around it. And I finally did. I finally settled down and was able to come up with a lettuce, spring lettuce protocol with spring lettuce, cucumber. I ate a lot of cucumbers, sardine stuffed cucumbers, cucumber stuffed with sardines, and a mixture that I make with turmeric. It's another thing leaving my list. Thank you, Dr. Paul Solandino. I used to use turmeric, ginger, cilantro, garlic, and mix all that up and make like a dressing, I used to use it as salad dressing, but then I made it really thick, like in a pesto sauce, to move heavy metals. Yeah, turmeric's leaving the menu too, especially after this book. So the advantages of going carnivore, because I like to focus on solution rather than what the problem is, right? Most people get stuck in, oh, I'm not going to be able to eat this and this and this, and this is my favorite. And I was like, yeah, you can stay there for a while. I mean, but that's just, I try not to, whether it's diet or anything else, I try not to stay there in the pity party for too long and get into the solution. So the advantages of carnivore is you can eat to satiety, to where you're satisfied and you are not bloated. That's advantage number 1. Advantage number 2 is your shopping list just got really simple. Beef, chicken, shellfish, lamb. Unless you've run a test and you're sensitive to something, your shopping list. Now, making it affordable, that can get challenging for people if you're on a constrained budget. We are about to, go online, go to your local, just Google local ranchers in your area, wherever that is, and you can find local ranchers where you can, like in a co-op, you can hook up with other people. You can go in on a beef or half a beef or a quarter of a beef. We're getting ready to buy a quarter of a beef on November 1st on my next disability check. Yep, we are stuck in the freezer. Because let's face it, it's election time and the world could come to an end. The other advantage, supplementation. Actually, the need thereof. So check this out. I'll give you a little bit. So, this Vital Proteins, I get it at Costco. It is part of my training day, and it's also part of my evening shake. So I will eat at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then I will eat again. And like this morning, I had 4 scrambled eggs, half a pound of bacon, 2 ounces of hamburger, and some sauerkraut. And I did not feel bloated at all. I didn't feel heavy. I didn't feel bloated. I didn't feel anything. I just felt satisfied. On training days, I do a dosage of this with some existing coconut water that's leaving the pantry. Everything that's in my house is being eliminated. I'm burning through it and it's all gone. So I do this while I'm training because that's part of my protocol. And then right now I'm on Dr. Paul's gut and his organ meats. I am going to get with the rancher and see if they can't grind in the organ meats in with my hamburger. Because I'm not sure I can eat. I'm not sure I can eat organ meats. I'm just pretty sure I can't do that. When I went to carnivore, I had to go to an a super enzyme with a lot of ox bile in it. Because I had, like I said, I was coming off of no fat at all. So my system went through a transition of about 3 weeks. It was not comfy. Well, actually, about 3 weeks. It was not comfortable because it was like, oh God, what is this? My gallbladder had not been functioning. If you want kidney stones and gallstones, stay vegetarian. It's not good. And then these 2 supplements I'm on because one, this is for my lungs. This is a vitamin E complex. I have a 4 millimeter, as of right now, nodule on my lung. We're not sure if it's cancerous or not. 43-year smoker. Come on now. No surprise there, right? Already had breast cancer. So I was clear in February. The nodule is new since February. I had a thermography scan and my lung function is really good considering in fact, the woman who does the scan, she's like, I was not expecting to see your lungs in that good a shape. I'm like, I work really hard at that Wim Hof breathing technique. And then I do IgG 2000 because my IgG runs low. Now, yeah, IgG is what's in your blood, the part of your hemoglobin that it responds to viruses and bacteria. I run high in my ferritin. Most people, and here's what's interesting. I am deficient in my hair on iron, but I run high on ferritin in my blood. Now, I may have to go do therapeutic phlebotomy where you donate blood because I'm not cycling anymore, so I'm not losing that anymore. But like I said before, the difference between your blood and your hair is what your body is capable of utilizing, synthesizing, and using. So that's the advantages. Halfway through the book, and when I get done with the book, I'm going to go back through it, and I'm going to do a pretty detailed video on carnivore. But here's just some highlights. Did you know about oxalates, lectins, polyphenols, and ithokinates? They're the defense mechanisms of plants. right? So how Dr. Paul describes it is animals, nothing on the planet wants to get eaten. Not plants and not animals. Animals can run away, but plants are rooted in the ground, and therefore they have come up with some pretty ingenious defense mechanisms in their chemical warfare. And I had a huge epiphany this morning on why pharmaceuticals and vegetarian diets work short term. And that's because if you stop and think about where do our pharmaceuticals come from, they come from the plant kingdom, most of them, or the ideas thereof, right? They come, the Ayurvedic system, the Chinese system, all that spices, the spices and the herbs, it's medicine. It's not meant for us to be consumed all the time. And just like anything, when we consume something all the time, I mean, the oxalates in spinach, it was like, oh God. And he has one paragraph, and I love it because I've listened to him often enough now that when I read his book, I can actually read it, hear it in his head, in my head. And he's like, yeah, how's that green smoothie sounding now? And I'm like, oh man. So August 1st, I went carnivore. Day 3, brain fog lifted. Day 5, physical strength came back, stamina came back, was coming back. Not looking back either. Not for now. Your microbiome, one of the things that changes with your diet is your microbiome. And my microbiome's never been right. And I'm working on it, right? It's a work in progress. And so as a biohacker, that's what it's all about, right? Pivot and change. Pivot and change. Now, if somebody were to come up, and there are studies coming very soon. There's already studies coming out of the UK with regards to the carnivore diet. There's studies with regards to the keto diet and choosers. There's studies that it exists. It's out there. He's got in his book over 500 papers and studies referenced. The thing you need to understand about, because here's where people get really tripped up. When they're looking at studies, are they looking at epidemiology studies or are they looking at interventional studies? And interventional studies are the double-blind, placebo-controlled studies where you take a group of people, you're a hot mess, we're going to take 30 of you, 15 we're going to put over here and we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and this 15 we're not going to do anything, and then we're going to see what happens. That's a controlled interventional study. It's going to be really hard to get a lot of those funded, right? Because if you're eliminating the need for the pharmaceutical company, because research is expensive. Epidemiology is the study of how it's a survey. And one of the references, it's so funny, one of the reference charts that he refers to is in the state of Maine, where divorce rates and the use of butter on a chart, both are like, it's like exactly the same. And it's like, so did people stop getting divorced because they went off of butter? I mean, correlation does not mean causation. And that's the difference between epidemiology studies. We can get a lot of useful data. That's not to say it's not valuable. It just might not be accurate. And it's like one of those things where the narrative can be twisted to fit an agenda, right? So really interesting book, but I wanted to get this video out and I managed to keep it under 15 minutes because the average watch time is 6, so I at least got halfway there. Dr. Berg's videos are amazing. We love you. I'm glad you're here. Smash that like button, make it turn blue for me, please. Leave me a comment. Tell me what your diet was like. What's your journey been like? I love communicating back and forth here on YouTube. I find most of my friends on YouTube, the groups that I'm involved in on Facebook, I really don't, I'm involved there, but my tribe is over here on YouTube. And YouTube saved my life, can save yours too. Till next time. Stay legendary, my friends. We love you.